crying out loud.
For shame. For shame, for shame, for shame.
I didn't realize it was that. Is my mic acting weird?
Not really.
Not really.
Oh, I'm just coming in crystal clear.
Okay, good.
Speaking of crystal, an ex-girlfriend had the most unforgettable name ever.
What's that?
Crystal White.
What?
Yeah, that was her name. Crystal White.
That seems kind of a little bit foreshadowing.
She was incredibly pale. She did not like to spend too much time in the sun. Or actually, no, I take that back. She spent a lot of time in the sun. And when she was in the sun, fuck, she went like dark.
Really?
Like, yeah, she was almost like night and day, black and white. Like, and when I say white, I mean like she reflected all of the spectrum. Like Casper was looking at her going, damn, you need some sunlight.
Yeah. Put some tan, like, bronzer or anything. Bronzer, that's it, yeah.
Go talk to Trump.
Go talk to Trump, yeah.
He's got an in on a good supply.
Do something about the whole look of Pylon. At least it's a better shade.
Do you think Trump has pillowcases the shape of his face so that if he leaves his face in the morning, it's just making his face look better? Welcome to WTF ATTA podcast. What the fuck are they talking about? Alright, go to the website WTFATTA.blogspot.com. Check out more of the cast and crew and other episodes. Email us WTFATTA@gmail.com. Go to YouTube and Twitch. Go to episodes. Go to Instagram, Twitter, and
Jack, and this is the Flipside. First and Sandy on the interwebs. And joining me once again is Eli from WTF ATTA. You can follow me anywhere all over social media at Jack. That's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer. And of course, you can get in the conversation as we are broadcasting live right now. He's in Ontario. I'm in British Columbia, and once again, we are getting together to just talk about some of the random things that happen in the entertainment world, news world, as well as just, shit that goes on in our lives. So, why did you leave out Facebook?
Been kind of pissing me off. A lot of ads have been really frustrating me. And now Facebook has intent on putting video ad roll in Messenger because they have apparently maximized the ad space that they can in their Facebook page and app.
Wait, what do you mean Messenger?
The Messenger app? Yeah, in the middle of your chat conversations, a little video ad is going to now pop up.
Are you shitting me?
No.
That hasn't happened to me yet.
No, this is the plan. It's in the works. Unless enough people are like, "Fuck you, I'm out." And then the people who remain won't get burdened by it. But yeah, Facebook is like, we've maximized the amount of ad space we can everywhere else, and so now we're going after our alternate platforms.
So now they've gotten to the point where they're going to interrupt, or the plan is that they're going to interrupt your video chat in Messenger.
No.
What?
No. Your text messages. So, like, let's say you and I are messaging back and forth. All of a sudden, a little video ad is going to pop up in the middle between our messages. So you might think it's a little video coming from me, but it's an ad.
Why are you showing me this advertisement for OB, Eli?
Right? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking? Oh, fucking Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what it's coming to.
Well, okay, so like if someone's watching me on Twitch, before they actually get to the content of my video feed or any of my videos, there will be an advertisement beforehand. And if someone's watching any video on YouTube, if that video is monetizable, then there will be an advertisement somewhere in there, be it a banner or a video or something like that, which makes sense. But to interrupt a private conversation,
son of a bitch bastard.
To interrupt a private conversation with an advertisement is kind of wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely an invasion of sorts. Sorry, I just realized that my microphone wasn't streaming.
Oops.
Oops.
Don't worry. It was coming through on this side.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So anyway.
So that's one of the reasons why. The other one, another one being the privacy. Obviously, the issues there. They say they're going to get rid of it. You're going to have access to it. They're not going to get rid of it. And also, it doesn't matter. They've already developed enough of a profile on you that they know your viewing habits. They know what you're going to do for the next few years.
Have you ever downloaded the information that they have on you on Facebook?
You should take a look at what Google has. That is fucking terrifying.
I would be curious to see what Google has on me, but when I downloaded the stuff from Facebook, I was actually quite relieved because the stuff that was archived and the information that was gathered on me for myself, it actually really wasn't that surprising. But that's because I do like my own self-monitoring. There's very little of my personal life that I share on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I was actually rather relieved with what I saw there.
I wouldn't be very happy.
You wouldn't be very happy.
One of the things, another reason that I have a disagreement with all of this is that someone else is profiting off of my work. Regardless of how you want to look at it, I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not work if someone's getting paid for what I'm doing.
Yes.
Facebook is collecting off of not only my own personal information, but my viewing habits and any ads that might come up. I deserve a portion of all of that.
Yes.
A portion of every sale that is of my personal information.
Yeah.
If they're going to give me a good hefty percentage because it's my information, so we're talking like 95% in my favor.
Yeah.
Then they can fuck right off otherwise.
But that's the trade-off with Facebook, though. The Facebook is free, and the trade-off is because Facebook is free and it's become this massive tool to a lot of people. It's become integral in their personal and or business life. The trade-off is they get to collect what information is provided.
When they started doing that, I just screamed at people to fucking pay attention.
Monitor themselves?
No. When Facebook first came out, okay. When I first came back to Facebook,
Yes.
4 years ago,
Okay.
and that was all entirely so that I could. It was the only way that I could keep a connection with the mother of my daughter in case something happened, so on and so forth.
Yes.
Because where I was, no self-service. So.
Right.
When I came back, I got a message from someone saying, "Holy shit! Fucking 10 years ago, you left Facebook telling everyone that they keep your information even if you delete your profile and delete everything." I was like, I know. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now look at what's come out in the last 4 years about the fact that sure as shit, Facebook keeps even if you delete it, it's still there.
Yep. Oh yeah, they archive everything because they can. If you have multiple Facebook profiles and you deactivate a Facebook profile, you could leave it for years and you can suddenly go, oh yeah, there was something, blah, 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 a conversation or a photo or something like that from my old Facebook profile. You can go back to it and it's like you never left it. It is still there.
Yeah. So, and I mean, it's the double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
It can cut your cheese and cut your finger at the same time.
Yes, I suppose that is a metaphor that works. Although, It's a little creative.
A little
but
crazy.
Sure. Yeah, it's a little crazy. One of the things I found was entertaining was when I downloaded all the information, all the important, pertinent, and information that was gathered on me, as well as the archived videos and sound clips and pictures and whatnot. What shocked me was, oh yeah, I remember those dirty pictures from 7 years ago. It's all there. It's just, which is why, like, you know, at any point in time, whenever someone wants to send like anything private, it's like, no, you send either an email, which is not much better, or a text message, which has more privacy but still kind of sort of fucking far out there, right? The Facebook is not. Like, as much as it can be, and as much as I censor myself and not share a whole lot with Facebook, Facebook is not something that I like to share a lot of private situations with, period.
Well, the fact that every single conversation is monitored and the effort it took to actually turn Facebook off of my Android phone, like, fuck, it wasn't just uninstalling it, because it's bloatware. It's part of the core system. It won't let you uninstall it.
Yeah.
So what do I got to do? Go into the systems, go into the app permissions, disable the app, force stop it, remove all notifications, remove all permissions.
Yeah.
Open up the advanced settings, go into the system core for the Facebook, disable and force stop the updater. If you have an Android phone, do you ever notice that occasionally you'll be like, Facebook has updated itself, Messenger has updated itself,
Yes,
Instagram has updated it? That's the fucking this little updater core that they have in there. They can update the fucking thing without you needing to be in the Play Store. You don't control the updates, they do.
Jesus.
They're taking away complete control. And the scary thing is that this was all predicted early 90s. They had attempted to set up a wide area network where you could take a card and plug it into one computer, take that card out and go and walk into another computer, plug it in, and the screen just loads up right where you left off.
Well, that's what Google is nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
and it was all...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It was all stored in one central server and that. And the problem back then, though, was that data speeds couldn't handle the information. But now with data speeds being what they are, the compression algorithms being so advanced, I mean, damn.
Wow. Just freaking wow. But it's also this like along the same lines. Like, what's that? Was it Orwell? Who wrote that book, 1984, something about Big Brother and monitoring and data
Big Brother's
collection
always
and
watching.
stuff like that. Sorry?
Yeah, Big Brother's watching.
Big Brother's
1984.
Yeah. I mean,
that is fucking... That's what we've become. I mean, shit, London was the prime suspect for that. Prime suspect? No.
Was it London? I thought it was somewhere in the States.
London. Look at all the cameras. Zero guns. 100% watching, right? Every move you make in London is watched, which is ironic, the fact that they have so many knifings.
Well, you know what?
And gun violence too. That's another thing too, is that they had, like, in a string of like 7 weeks, there was something like 61 gun deaths in fucking London, where even the cops aren't allowed to have goddamn guns.
Well, so the cops do have guns, but they have to literally call dispatch for permission to use firearms. But yeah,
yes.
like, no, I get your point. Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
well,
anyways, the last reason that I have for getting off of Facebook is I found out the reason why my brother is on the run from the cops.
Why? Did he like too many pages?
I almost wish it was something bad, just for how fucking stupid it is.
Okay.
I know if I've said my brother is a criminal with a heart of gold. He just does stupid shit. This is his fucking opus.
Are you willing to tell it, or are you gonna text it to me, or like send it to me?
No,
in
no,
Discord?
I'm gonna tell it. I just
Sure.
need to build up the presence of this Everest of monumental stupidity.
You're gonna grandstand it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so just kind of preface the story for those who don't know. He disappeared out of the blue, just gone, like a fart in the wind. Thought maybe he died. That was my first thought. Is that he was hurting in the hospital. So I did a whole bunch of hunting around at all the hospitals for John Doe's, so on and so forth. He wasn't in any of them. A week and a half goes by, and no one's heard from him, which is entirely unusual for him because anytime he goes on the run, it's usually within a couple of days. Someone in the family will get a notification from him being like, hey, can't tell you where I am, but I'm alive.
Right.
Okay. This time, nothing. So everyone is just like, what the fuck happened?
Right.
So he finally shows up and tells us all that his fucking reason for running was because he was 20 minutes late getting back to the halfway house.
Really?
Yeah.
He made it worse, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, fuck. It's Ottawa.
Yeah.
Everyone understands that the buses sometimes fuck up, and sometimes you're stuck there waiting for a while.
Yep.
Right? Pick up your cell phone. Give them a call. If your cell phone's dead, all the better. When you get there, be like, my
Cell phone's
was
dead. Yeah. Who the hell carries
Otherwise,
a quarter these
called.
days? Yeah.
And where are you going to put it? Because you need two.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
50 cents. Yeah, it's 50 cents. Actually, one night when I was working at the bar, I wouldn't let this drunk old man in. And he fucking hands me a quarter and he's like, you know what? Call someone who cares. I look back and I'm like, I need another one. It's 50 cents.
That's
Fuck
funny.
you. Have a good day, sir.
That's hilarious. I didn't realize that payphones took 50 cents now. That's the last time I used a payphone.
Yeah, it's been like that actually for a while. But I mean, cell phones. Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, those are my reasons for why I'm just like, yeah, I'm done with Facebook.
Gotcha. Well, I only have a few things, and I'm just waiting on confirmation because what?
Sorry. Just to tag on one last thing for the Facebook.
What?
AP was saying he's had a client talk about going on vacation and how he should go to place X in the future. And when he went to Facebook, out of nowhere, he got an ad for a vacation at place X.
You know what? There's been times where I'll say something or I'll bring something up in text on Facebook, and I'll get an advertisement, something close to that, right? You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that coincidence is that frequent, honestly, and you can't tell me that they're not paying attention just a tiny little bit, because Google, I understand. Google, I will understand, because you search something in Google, right? Onto your profile, it will pay attention.
And it does help the search algorithms.
Yes, it does.
The number of people that have used the search engine over the years is what's made it so awesome.
Yes. And I agree.
But Google went about ads the right way. They did not make the ad intrusive. Right? At most, for ads on Google, it's the 3 spots at the top. Right? And it'll say advertisement on it.
Yes, but you have to see that.
You have to see it, yes. And that is one of the downsides, is that they're so unobtrusive, whatever the word is, unobtrusive.
Intrusive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Non-intrusive.
Non-intrusive.
That you don't even realize that it's an ad.
That's true. And that's one of the weird things too. Like, for example, if you type into the Google search bar Travelocity, right? Then the first 3 results that pop up will be, one of them will be Travelocity, but it'll have the little asterisk on the side of it saying ad, and then it'll have like 2-3 other different travel website agencies underneath it, and it'll say ad underneath it. But then if you search down even further, usually at the very top after those 3 or 4 first ones is Travelocity, because that's essentially what you're looking for.
Yeah. And they've gotten better about getting rid of that too. It's no longer 3 really annoying unrelated ads. It's one. Actually, I found lately the very first ad is for the website that you're looking for, if that website has paid for ads.
Yes. No, and that's totally true. So you're gonna stay off of Facebook until they calm down, shape up. What's the plan here?
No, I think I'm done with it.
Okay, fine. Well,
yeah, I mean, I went for years without it, and it doesn't. It just makes me angry. I've been a lot happier and less stressed since not being on there, and honestly, I feel like the IQ level has increased by not. Yeah, I think the global IQ level increases by not going on Facebook.
Well,
because you just aren't aware of the stupidity that's out there.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, back in high school, way before cell phones. Yes, I am that old. But back in high school, way before cell phones, I was able to memorize and recite about two dozen different phone numbers of friends and coworkers and family and stuff like that. Nowadays, I have to struggle. I struggle to remember half a dozen phone numbers. Right? Because I have a cell phone that I just go click, 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 I'm looking for this person. Click, 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 I'm looking for this person. And the phone numbers pop up, right? Hell, I can even throw photos onto those people. And these photos can be actually videos, and they can be animated if I really, really wanted to. And Facebook incorporates into that too, because Facebook remembers the people that you've put into your phone database, and it'll transfer those people onto your new phone whenever you upgrade. Yeah, so that's kind of worth it.
So you never really have to look at it.
Exactly.
You never type it in.
Exactly.
Back in the day, you'd always have to type it in, and that's actually why phone numbers were spaced out the way they are, because it's easier to remember it in 334.
Yes. Area
555, 555, 5555.
Yeah. Area code city house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got cell phones now, and it's just like, area code city, fuck you, we're not telling you who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Oh, you got a call display? Bitch, please.
So, I have 2 stories, and I know we're running a little bit late, but I have 2 stories. Do you know VidCon?
Rings a bell.
Okay, VidCon is generally a convention where a bunch of YouTubers and content creators are invited to show up and interact with their fans. It is at the expense of the YouTubers. Okay, so there is really no monetary value. This is more just a convention for potential meeting of content creators and fans. Okay, this 20-year-old YouTuber her name is Tana. Got all pissy because she wasn't granted a content creator badge, which means that she could not be one of the celebrities to show up to VidCon. And she got all bent out of shape out of this. So she decided to, in protest, 1 month before VidCon, to put together her own convention, and she called it Tana-con. Now, hold on. Don't jump ahead of me. Okay? She held it on the exact same day.
Oh, fuck.
Across the street from VidCon. And she only did it with a month to work with. right? She made a decision.
That's pretty fucking impressive.
She made a decision. She contacted some sort of company called Good Times, and they helped put together this convention. Now, she tried to be all-inclusive, right? She said there were no need for tickets. You could buy tickets for special privileges, but you didn't need to buy tickets because the event was essentially free. Now, that's great. I love the concept. And also she made promises that there would be food available and there would be water available and there'd be Q&As and there'd be content creator walking around. And she booked a convention room that had a capacity of 1,000 people. But she only put out... now, tickets are free, but you still had to get a ticket, right? So she put out 5,000 tickets, which does make sense. If you have a room for 1,000 people, but you have multiple events, like people are going to be coming in and out of that room, so like you're not expecting to fill that room full of 5,000 people. Instead, you're just expecting to maybe 1,000 at a time, right? It was supposed to be a 2-day event, okay? So, same day, right across the street, in protest of VidCon, was Tana-con. And it happened this past weekend. And what happened?
Fucking all 5,000 showed up at one time?
20,000 showed up.
Fuck yeah.
Which is impressive. Insanely impressive. Right? But...
yeah.
But... 20,000 people showed up. There was water for 0.
I was gonna say, who the fuck is paying for all that shit?
Don't know. There was water, like there was barely any water. Everyone was basically stuck outside, standing in lines in the California heat or in the southern United States heat. I think it was California or Florida.
You mean heaven?
Florida.
You mean
sorry?
Heaven? Oh,
it was
heaven,
California. So I was stuck outside, burning, essentially getting heat stroke in the California sun, with no shade provided, and the content creators that were there, of course, didn't really know what to do because they were just invited to be there. So what happened was 20,000 people showed up instead of 5,000 people. The people of the company that helped put this together, Good Times, smartly shut it down the first day early and then canceled the entire event the second day because security could not keep up. There were way too many people. There was no water. There was no food. And what should have been a moderately organized event, which it never really is, turned into a clusterfuck because it was nothing more than one steady, very slow moving line. And there was no room for anyone to be a part of any of the Q&As or the panels or anything of the sort.
Oh my god, that's the perfect depiction of real life right now.
So
everyone's just in a sloth moving together. Nobody's actually getting anywhere or getting anything done. Everyone's just bumping and yelling like New York traffic.
Yeah. So where did it all go wrong? I'm asking you. I'm asking you because I do have other answers.
I'm biting my facetious tongue.
Okay, fine. So for me, where it went wrong was she said it was all-inclusive, which is great, and it was optional to buy a ticket. That's fine. But she over-advertised it and told people, don't worry about buying tickets, show up anyway, which is why you got the inflated amount of people, went from maybe 5,000 to 20,000. Okay? Number 2, telling people that there was going to be water and food supplied.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
Yeah. Like, don't just assume that there's going to be accommodations like that for a first-time event, let alone an event that was announced and scheduled within the time period of a month, right? Like, I'm not even bothered to give her any sort of flack for trying to go up against VidCon, because doing it in protest is spiteful and silly. But you cannot deny the fact that expected 5,000 people, got 20,000 people on the exact same day at an event straight across the street. That is something to take notice of, and that's something to congratulate yourself for, because that is impressive.
Yeah.
Right. So we have over-advertised, lack of promises, the gift bag, which was supposed to be quadruple the lowest ticket price, not counting free, it turned out to be a wristband, a couple of stickers, and a custom condom that said Tana-con dumb. Okay. And the final thing that went wrong for this entire event was the company that she hired. Try as they might, they were completely underpowered for this entire situation. And they took shots at VidCon for absolutely no reason whatsoever, when they should have been in damage control and apologized, which they did, but at the same time, their mentality were kind of like along the lines of, our shit's on fire, but VidCon over there, they're the ones who are the real bad people, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, even though it seems like things are running smoothly here. All of our stuff is broken, though, but, you know, those guys are the bad guys. Like, fucking fix your stuff, right? Take ownership. Don't be taking cheap shots at something that's clearly working literally across the street. But take ownership of the fact that we did not anticipate this. We were undermanned. We appreciate all the attention that you guys have given us. This is incredibly, insanely wonderful. We're really sorry. Next year. And just fucking leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is impressive. It was very, very impressive.
See, there's a thought that's been running through my mind through this whole thing.
What's that?
And I would say it would be impressive if the same numbers were given without the free food and water. We live in, all right, okay. You know, we had the industrial age, the space age, the internet age, and now we have the gimme, gimme, not me age.
Yes.
All right. Gimme. I'm not the one who's guilty. I'm not responsible. Not me. Not me.
Fault.
Them.
Yes.
Not me.
Yes,
It wasn't
yes.
my fault. Yeah. They're so bad because they didn't stop me from doing it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
My brother is a perfect example of this. He's blaming everyone and everything else for him being 20 fucking minutes late. Bitch, please.
Yeah. You're the only one holding your schedule. Unless you were literally tied down to a chair and purposely held late. To which...
Exactly.
Like, how'd you get yourself in that situation to begin with?
Even if he was on the bus, right? Something happened, the bus got stuck, right? That's understandable. He was 20 minutes late.
Yes.
But that right there, I know, is a lie. First off, 20 minutes late. Where were you when you realized you were going to be 20 minutes late?
Yeah.
Walk into the fucking door? Well, why the fuck didn't you just walk in and be like, hey?
Yeah. Here's another thing, too. I mean, we're talking about phone numbers and whatnot. You know, of the gimme age. If your brother was going to be 20 minutes late, and let's say that the bus broke down, okay? Who's to say that he can't go to the bus driver, explain his situation, try to be sympathetic, and try to just appeal to the bus driver's better nature and say, like, can I please borrow your phone so that I can make a phone call so that I don't get into trouble? But yeah, no.
He might have that same problem that you have. If his phone is dead, he doesn't remember the number.
911.
You know what? That's fair. Just be like, hey, just want to let you guys know I'm late. I'm gonna be late getting back. I mean, we've been stuck here. You can ask the bus driver. Yep, we're late.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to come pick me up and just swing me back to the halfway house?
Can you turn on the lights and the siren, please? So anyway, back to this Tana-con thing. Doing it in spite of VidCon was a shitty idea. Doing it across the street from VidCon on the exact same day was a shitty idea. The end result and the reaction that came of it is impressive and something to take notice for, but execution was lacking. The food,
they were not prepared.
They were not
for the
prepared.
free.
No, exactly. And not to mention,
she wasn't ready.
Not to mention the fact that, okay, so the event was free, but all these people are pissed off because they want refunds. You have to think to yourself, okay, well, what the fuck did they pay for?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there you go. You've been refunded.
But you have to keep in mind too. I mean, it's not out of the question for people to travel long distances, get a hotel, gas money, food on the road. I mean, that is all money spent for what? An event that was overpowered, understaffed, and ultimately canceled.
But that's because people don't put the foresight into the fact that, okay, I love free. But if I hear that there's something free going on, even here in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere,
yeah,
I'm expecting that there's going to be such a fucking turnout of all sorts of families.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't matter what the function is. It doesn't matter if it's like it's a church social. Doesn't matter. Free food. I'm in.
Yeah. It's a timeshare. It's a timeshare sales pitch. Whatever. They got brownies. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like, now, I mean, granted, where I am is also like hardcore, old school German, do it yourself, don't ask for help kind of thing. So
yeah,
if they heard free, they'd be like, I don't want it.
So, anyway, I got one quick story, and unfortunately, I have not heard back from the person that I interviewed, Yvette, but I will hopefully hear back from her soon. So what I'm going to do is, instead of having it on the end of this episode, I will actually release it on YouTube as its own video. So stay tuned for that, as that's going to come up in just a little bit, and it'll be on my channel of the Media Jack, an interview with a adult content creator, Yvette, known as Honeycakes. But quickly, I want to touch on Sarah Huckabee Sanders being kicked out of a restaurant, being asked to leave the restaurant because of her political affiliation for Donald Trump.
I think they're well within their right to do that.
They are. They very much are. I mean, we are on the brink of so many different rulings and whatnot, like people getting in trouble for not wanting to make cake for a gay wedding, and still racism is very, very rampant, and people being criticized and just almost crucified for their political differences and whatnot. And quite frankly, I mean, I couldn't imagine the position that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is in, and having to basically get the notes, the cliff notes of what she has to talk about. And I would imagine just being able to go, or her just being able to look at that and just kind of try to spin it as best as possible and stand her ground. But at the same time, in the back of her mind going, the fuck is this asshole doing? And what the hell is he talking about now? I mean, most recently, during a rally, he was trying to get his constituents and his voters to go back to the polls so that he can get more power in the government, so they can get more stuff, only to shoot himself in the foot immediately after and said, like, you know what, we're going to get those stuff done anyway. We don't need the help. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, at least he's being honest.
This is true. This is true. Anyway, like, any sympathy for Sarah Huckabee Sanders and her party for being asked to leave this restaurant?
No, I feel every business has the right to refuse service for whatever reason. I mean, if someone doesn't want to shape a cake with their hands, I can kind of understand why some people would be apprehensive about that.
Yeah.
Same thing. Why the same people might be apprehensive about molding a vag cake.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Right? It's just the fact that they're working with genitalia, and that makes them uncomfortable. And the fact that we're forcing them to do that is also kind of wrong.
Yeah. You know, that's kind of the gray areas. Like, you have the right to refuse service, and that is fine. But at the same time, I mean, that doesn't keep you free from backlash. Like, I mean, the restaurant,
Absolutely.
yeah, the restaurant did receive flack for it, and they did receive praise for their decision and their actions. But I mean, that's the give and take of free speech. That is
and commerce.
And commerce. Yes. You can cut yourself off at the knees from selling or providing a service for monetary value at any point in time, at any way, shape, or form. You can completely, utterly do that. But ultimately, you are the one who is selling less. You are the one who is trying to restrict who your customer base is. And so you are the one who is ultimately possibly gonna suffer any way, shape, or form.
This was actually something that was covered in Star Trek. The Ferengi are a species that are essentially the commerce masters, the con men of the world, of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Right? And there was an argument saying, well, fuck, why don't we let women own houses and buy clothes and basically everything a man can do? We're cutting off half of our fucking profit. Half of our oh, he's right, profit.
First, we get underpants. Second, third, profit.
It worked for fucking Pinky. Only one to ever take over the world. Did it with shiny pants.
This is very true. This is unfortunately very true. Anyway, I gotta wrap it up. And
I got one last thing for you.
What? Go ahead.
I do have an article for you.
Oh, sure.
All right. So, did you think that the scientists from IBM who issued the challenge, world's smallest computer, would go unchallenged? No. It was challenged. University of Michigan has produced a temperature sensing computer measuring 0.04 cubic millimeters, or about a tenth the size of IBM's former record setter. It's so small that 1 grain of rice seems gigantic in comparison. And I mean, fuck. This thing is tiny, like size of a hair.
Jesus.
Yeah. But apparently, like, they had to. The difficulty with this thing was that the electrical noise coming just from like the LED turning on and off was actually fucking up the computing processors.
Really?
Yeah, they had to come up with a way of making or allowing the system to compensate for that. So I don't want to say they've broken another barrier, but it seems like they might have a way of making even smaller transistors and such.
That's horrifying.
It's almost to the point where we almost have a quantum computer, but not in a quantum computer sense. It's still ones and zeros.
Gotcha.
But
I think I follow you.
when I worked at the Perimeter Institute for Theoretical Physics in Waterloo, Ontario, I was just doing security there. I didn't actually work for it. On the chalkboards, they were discussing how to actually make a quantum computer, and this was like back in 2006, so 12 years ago.
Okay.
And the way they described it was the spin of the electron is how they would be able to determine off, on, or both, right? So if it's up and down, it's off. If it's left and right, it's on. If it's diagonal, it's both.
It's in like
so
idle
it turns
mode.
out, and so it turns out that this is actually one of the ways that has promise.
No.
Recently, with I think China was doing something with it, and they managed to create. I think it's like just a basic like 1 + 1 = 2 using electrons. Yeah.
Okay.
So I can understand it's really really hard to control an electron and its spin, and then throw in that you want to do that for multiple atoms, and then they're not like on the outside. You have to get the ones that are inside the mix. That's fucking tricky, and not affect the ones on the outside. That's crazy to me.
That is crazy. Okay, you good?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
It's all you. What are we gonna call this? So we talked about skipping the halfway house because you're being 20 minutes late. We talked about the tiny ass computer. We talked about Tana-con. We talked about you removing Facebook.
Gimme Tana-con.
Gimme. Gimme Tana-con? Nah.
Tana-con dumb.
Ooh. Tana-con dumb.
Gimme some of that Tana-con dumb.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, that's what she said.
We'll keep it with Tana-con dumb.
Okay.
Okay.
Tana-con dumb it is.
All right.
All right. You've been listening to the WTF-ATTA podcast with me, Elijah. You can go to the website, WTFATTA.blogspot.com, check out episodes, cast, crew, information, yada, yada, yada. You can go to the email and send us a message, WTFATTApodcast@gmail.com. Go to YouTube and Twitch to watch us live, iTunes to catch old episodes, Instagram and Twitter to follow us, like, and subscribe. Catch us every Monday at 8 and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all.
And I'm JD the Media Jack. You can follow me all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and on Mixer. And I saw a few people were actually logging on and checking it on Mixer, which is kind of neat because that means that people were watching us on their Xbox One. As always, joining me is Elijah from WTF-ATTA. He's in Ontario. I'm in British Columbia. We're both Canadian. Next weekend is the Canadian long weekend.
Because we're actually not Canadian.
No, exactly. And so you can join us again next time. And stay tuned on my YouTube channel, The Media Jack. I will be posting the video interview with independent adult content creator from amateurporn.com. Her name is Yvette. She goes by the name Honeycakes, and that's going to be coming up within a couple of hours. So if you want to watch that, a very, very interesting interview with someone who has been in the business and working independently for 6 years. And she lives in Alaska, which is, I just think that that's really, really cool. Anyway, so that's coming up.
She is the cause of global warming.
Yeah, exactly. But that's coming up in just a little while. Just if you can, on YouTube and on Twitch, and of course on Mixer, subscribe to either Eli at WTF-ATTA or myself at The Media Jack, and hit that little bell so that we know, or you know, that when we release something, you'll be one of the first ones to comment on it. And always leave comments on our videos because we do pay attention to them. Thanks again, Eli.
Cheers.
Keep speaking from the skull. See you guys next time.